Kelly Roberts hails from Forest Lake, Minnesota, and is the founder of SendOff, which is described as funerals reimagined. He also leads Roberts Family Funeral Home, which he started in 2005. Kelly, welcome to the Dying to Know More podcast. You are actually the first man I've had on the show, so it's kind of fun to
Okay.
mix it up.
Wow. I'm a
So
pioneer in that regard then.
you
Great.
are.
Thanks for
I'm
having
really,
me.
what's that? Um,
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. I am really excited to talk to you about send off. I felt like the funeral industry has been so dusty and outdated for so long. Tell me where this all came from and why you decided to start this.
Yeah. So we opened a funeral home from scratch in my hometown of Forest Lake, Minnesota back in 2005. So we're just celebrating 20 years. And being that we came from outside the industry, we always looked at the space and how we serve families through a different lens. And so, with that being said, we had brought a lot of hospitality into the experience at our funeral home. So, like, we have a bar in our funeral home, and our funeral home is not outdated when it comes to the colors and such. A lot of funeral homes still look like walking back into 1975, unfortunately.
I
And
picture maroon
so,
carpeting and gold
exactly.
drapes and things. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And so we wanted our space to be comfortable and to feel like home.
Yep.
And so I think we've done a pretty good job with that over time. And through my years of serving families in Forest Lake, I would often hear the phrase when my line of work would come up. Didn't matter if I was out in a social setting or working a funeral or a visitation. They would say, Kelly, when I die, I want to have a party, not a funeral.
Yep.
And I would continue to hear that over and over as time went on. And so that got me thinking in regards to how can we reimagine the experience for families and give them more than what they only know.
Hmm.
And we were doing some of that here at Roberts over the years, but we were still in a funeral home setting.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
We also looked really heavily into the wedding industry and how that's completely evolved in the last 20, 25 years.
Yep.
So, with that being said, when I was married in 1998, the idea of being married in a barn would have been absolutely absurd,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Most people were being married in churches, in worship spaces. Now, look at where people are being married. They're being married in spaces that speak to that couple.
Hmm.
They can be in barns, they can be in on golf courses, they can be in breweries, they can be in wineries, they can be on
Yep.
the beach, they can have a destination wedding, which is often done
Yep.
now. So we looked at how that industry has evolved and where the funeral space really has not whatsoever.
Hmm.
And so the idea came about of taking the experience outside of the traditional settings, putting them into those hospitality venues that speak to that individual.
Hmm.
So again, the outdoor spaces, golf courses, parks, breweries, anywhere that makes sense or appropriate for that family. And
Hmm.
also to make them highly personalized. So our goal is to feel that individual's spirit in that space throughout that time. And so that's kind of where the idea came from. And we were able to launch Send Off Funerals Reimagined in November of 2022. So
Okay.
we're coming up now on 3 years of existence.
That's amazing. And have you found it to be a hard sell? Are people embracing it? Are they excited about it?
It's been a slow build,
Hmm.
and so a couple of reasons for that, Ashley. I think it being that it's so kind of new and different and unique. It's taken a while for people to really grasp that,
Hmm.
kind of knowing that traditionally they feel they always have to call the same funeral home they've used for generations, right?
Right.
And that seems probably more safe than calling a company called SendOff, right? So I think that we're fighting some of that, but
Hmm.
as we continue to move forward, we are getting more exposure, we're getting more traction. Families are embracing our model
Hmm.
and providing that experience that is like none other in the industry.
I was going to ask, what sort of feedback are you getting from families? I mean, it's got to probably be such a different and more personal experience than just a traditional, here's the casket,
Absolutely.
do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I also want to say that if families do want a bit of tradition in a church, we can still provide that same experience. We're not trying to downplay that
Hmm.
whatsoever. That's very important for a lot of families. So,
Yeah.
but along with that, how else can we celebrate their life in a unique and remarkable way? On top of that, a traditional component to the overall send off.
Hmm.
And so that's been important. But when we sit down with our families and they get an idea of what we're trying to accomplish and how we can help them celebrate that life,
Hmm.
one of the things that's important is that we empower them to think differently
Hmm.
than what they only know.
Yep.
And so once we get an idea of who this person was, their hobbies, their interests, the things that made them tick as an individual, it's our inspiration then to give them ideas in and around what that send off can look like.
Yeah.
And families are wowed about that.
Yep.
And our goal with every send off family is that for them to reflect back afterwards and think to themselves and talk about the idea that that's exactly what we needed to honor and celebrate our loved one's life.
Yeah.
It brought joy, it brought inspiration, it brought hope, it brought healing, and everything in and around to
And
celebrate
joy.
that
I
life.
mean,
Yeah.
the videos on your website, I mean, I got teared up watching one of them last night just because I was like, what a beautiful kind of way to honor this person, and just really personal and lots of interaction with people, and it just seemed like such a joyous occasion. That's how they all should be.
Well said. Yeah, and that's our goal. And we don't have to. It doesn't have to be in a box, right? It
Right.
can be customized to exactly however
Yeah.
they want that to be. And we also want to make it clear that a send off does not have to be expensive, right?
Right. I
We've
was going
had
to ask you that. So give me a ballpark. What are we talking here?
boy, we just had one a couple weeks ago that was close to $70,000.
Okay.
And a lot of that went into food, beverage, venue, all of those things.
It's a party,
Um,
and you're throwing a party.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And so, send off can be as simple as a walk in the park with family and friends,
Hmm.
or one last round of golf on that individual's favorite golf course with
Yeah.
family and friends.
Yeah.
It'd be a pontoon ride under the stars on a Saturday night, or a bonfire to accompany that. So it doesn't have to be this big, extraordinary, huge event that therefore costs a lot of money. It can
Right.
be something very simple,
Hmm.
very intimate, that makes sense for everyone involved.
And are you, in terms of, do people, I mean, I saw your questionnaire on the website, the intake form or whatever, like to start the planning, which I thought is really innovative. Is Are most of the send-offs people planning their own for in the future? Are these being planned after someone has died by the family, or what's the kind of percentage
Yeah, so
breakdown there?
there are two different kind of components to the send off model. There is the what we call pre-need. So anyone can go ahead and start that process to plan ahead for the future, to give them peace of mind and also
Okay.
their loved ones peace of mind. And that
Okay.
planning process can be as simple as jotting down some notes on a cocktail napkin,
Yeah.
or coming in to see us and to come up with a comprehensive plan on what their
Hmm.
send off can look like. And then if
Okay.
they want to pay ahead of time, they could do that as well. So we've had a number of those families that have gone through that process with us.
Okay.
Some of the families have reached out to us when they have someone that is ill and kind of in the dying process, if you will.
Hmm.
And so that's been very common. And then, of course, when someone has passed away, they would call us and then we would help them from there. We're also a fully licensed funeral and cremation establishment in the state of Minnesota. So we can be that very important first call when
Hmm.
someone does pass away. So we
Okay.
can receive their body into our care, bring them to our facility, and help them with whether it's cremation, traditional burial in a casket. There's now a number of different eco-friendly options as well.
Talk to me. Okay, so terramation and aquamation. What are those?
Yes. So aquamation is another cremation choice.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
So it's more for the eco-friendly consumer,
Okay.
where the body is broken down with a combination of water, pressure like chemical, and there are no pollutants that go into the air.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
You actually get more ashes back with that process too, which is kind of
Wow.
interesting.
That is interesting.
And so that is aquamation that is becoming popular
Okay.
and isn't as and is trending as well.
Hmm.
Now, terramation is something that we're really excited about.
Okay.
And so that is a form of disposition where the body is actually broken down into soil. Okay. And there is a
Is that a
natural
green burial? Is that what you mean when you say green burial?
green burial would be something different. So this is
Okay.
terramation where the body
Okay.
is placed into a vessel,
Okay.
and throughout it's a 45-day process
Oh,
where the body is actually through this natural process and oxygen that goes into the vessel, and then there's some microbial activity that happens during that process,
mm-hmm.
and the end result is that the body is soil. Okay.
Mm.
There's also some alfalfa, some sawdust, and some other organic material that helps with that process too.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So for every family or every individual, you get about 250 pounds of soil back.
Wow.
And
To use as
so
you please, or is that something that you?
use as you please.
Wow.
And for example, this has been somewhat popular in the farming communities.
Yeah.
So to go back to the family farm as
Yeah.
soil that
Oh
has
wow.
given so much life to their family
Yeah.
over the years.
I bet that's popular up where you are, up in Minnesota.
It is
Yeah.
actually, it is. And
Yeah.
so Minnesota legalized natural organic reduction about a year ago.
Okay.
Ironically, I was just at a presentation last night in and around bringing a facility here to the state,
Hmm.
to Minnesota. So that's awfully exciting.
Yeah.
So we are now offering that option now. And so before the facility is built, bodies would be transported out to the state of Washington for that terramation process to
Wow.
take place.
Okay. So that is big news. That's big news.
It really is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, we feel just based on the feedback that we received from the consumer, people are asking about it. They're kind of getting excited about it as well,
Hmm.
if as much as you can get excited about that process. So it's just
Don't
very for us to be able to offer that experience and that option for families is compelling.
don't you feel in general there is some sort of energy or electricity in this entire death and dying space right now, moving towards something like what thinking outside the box, thinking beyond the traditional burial or cremation, funeral home or church. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of innovators in this space. One being yourself with SendOff, and I think that it's starting to kind of get out to the masses, things like terramation, and people are getting excited about it. I mean, do you get
Finally,
that sense as well?
finally, yeah, absolutely, and it has to come from people within the industry that are educating the consumers on what's available out there
Mhm.
now.
Mhm.
And being that the industry has been so stodgy and mundane and resistant to change,
Yeah.
now we're kind of seeing this come to life.
Yeah.
No pun intended, right? And so, especially for younger generations, we find that they're more open to talk about death and dying and their mortality
Mhm.
more so than the older generations. So we're kind
Yeah.
of seeing this shift of having more conversation in and around the category of death and dying
Yeah.
and being more open to it
Yeah.
and talking about, what they would want for their send off to be, or how they want their body to be cared for upon their passing, whether if that's traditional burial, cremation, terramation, all these different options out there now.
Yep.
So we are seeing that shift for sure.
So, okay, so back to the send-offs. So if somebody passes and whether they come through the body comes to you all for care or from another facility, start to finish, I mean, like, are you turning around these send-off parties in like a week? I mean,
No,
okay.
no,
I mean, these are like broad scale
yeah,
productions. Like
yeah, no. It's
how long does it take?
I would say the average time from when someone passes away and when they call us to the send off event, I
Mhm.
would say it's probably about 30 to 45 days has been the average.
Okay.
We've had a
That's still
couple
pretty
of
quick.
them that have gone on for 2 months or so after someone's passed away, and we have turned them around in about 7 to 10 days too.
Wow.
So, being that there's a lot of thought that goes into these send offs
Hmm.
with a lot of intention and a lot of everything, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Much like planning a wedding.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so there's a lot of time and energy that is put into all of that. Therefore, that takes more time to plan, and then the execution is that's where the magic happens.
Yeah.
Is
So
when
do
we're
you have
there.
a crew like in-house that
We
does that, or
do.
do you work with planners, or how does
Yep.
that work?
Yeah. So we have planners on our team
Okay.
to help plan and then execute the events.
Okay.
And so the day of the event, what that looks like, we're there early on at that venue, at that place of worship, wherever it is, out that at that outdoor space,
Hmm.
and we're there setting everything up, working hand in hand with that venue team. So families, when they show up, they don't have to worry about anything. They get to show up. We have everything set up. They don't have to be stressed out about anything.
Yeah.
And their main goal is to be present during that time there, and to greet their family and friends, and again be present in the moment to honor and celebrate that life.
Tell me what about the most unique or the most kind of customized or over the top or whatever
Yeah,
send off you all have done.
we haven't had really anything that has been like over the top
Okay.
or like wow, I can't believe they did that, right? We've had a couple
Yeah.
situations where we've done fireworks or ashes into fireworks and
Oh,
have let those go off in the
yeah.
parking lot of that
Okay.
venue. We often will maybe break a rule or two. We're very much yes people, like to
Yeah.
color outside the lines a little bit, and so we've done that a couple of times where we probably shouldn't have, but no one got in any trouble. Other compelling send offs that we've done. We had one where this gal, her nickname was Dancing Deb, and so we were at a venue in Minneapolis, and she loved to dance, of course. So
Yeah.
we vetted out a band to have at her send off, and a lot of the people that were in her life, her family and friends, they love to dance
Yeah.
to live music, of course.
Yeah.
And so I think the send off started at 1 o'clock, and by 1:30, Ashley, the dance floor was packed on a Saturday afternoon in this venue, and it was. I sat back and I mean, I just had a huge smile on my face because it was her
Aw.
spirit in that space
Yep.
that was so compelling and just brought a lot of those things I talked about: the joy,
Yep.
the hope, the healing, the inspiration, and it was magical.
That's amazing. All right. So, and then you have the living send off, which tell me about that.
Well, we've not had one of those yet,
Okay.
and so again, part of our goal at Send Off is to get permission and to empower families to think differently than what they've only known.
Yep.
And so, for anyone that would have an unfortunate terminal diagnosis, and if they wanted to actually have the send off prior to them passing away, we can provide that service for them.
Okay.
So, really, a lot of it would be much the same, other than that individual will be present, taking in that experience with all their family and friends.
Which I think, frankly, we're all gonna die. I get that. If it were my choice, I'd want to be at my own funeral. So a living send off sounds fantastic. And then it's like after I'm gone, whatever, you know? So I think it's
I'm
just
with you.
it
I'm
just sounds like what a lovely way to have kind of end of life closure. It sounds
Yeah,
ideal.
and I think as time goes on, we're going to continue to push that message out
Hmm.
that this is something that you can do,
Hmm.
even though that it's really not the norm.
Hmm.
But we'll provide that service and that experience for those families, for those individuals that would want to do something like that.
Okay. Is there anything else about send off that we haven't, or the funeral home that we haven't discussed that you think is important
Yeah, so
worthy?
we do have a give back initiative too. So for every family that we serve, we make a monetary donation back to two nonprofit organizations.
Okay.
One is speaking to mental health awareness, and that's an organization called Sophie Squad.
Okay.
And then another one to children's cancer, and that's a children's cancer research fund in
Okay.
Minneapolis. And
That's
so
awesome.
we make that donation back in the memory of those individuals that passed away. So we
That's
feel really
awesome.
good about that.
That's great. All right. Well, I have three quick questions that I ask everybody. So
Yes.
they're just kind of rapid fire.
Yep.
Are you afraid to die? Why or why not?
I am not afraid to die
Okay.
because I'm a man of faith. I know that I'm going to heaven and I'll be in the presence of Jesus and the rest of my family and friends that have gone on before me.
That's awesome. What is the single most important thing you want to do or experience or accomplish before you die?
Just one experience.
Just one.
Pardon me.
Just one.
Just one.
Yeah.
Boy. Um, I Boy, there's a lot of things. I'm just trying to kind of hone in on one that could be significant to me. I think it'd be to be present when I'm 85 years old still and being around my family and my grandkids.
Yeah.
That would be the most important thing to me.
Yeah. And last question, what is the most important lesson that you have learned from the work that you're doing?
Um, the empathy. I mean, all of the things that are obvious, right? That one should have when they do the work that we do in this space.
Hmm.
But I think that one thing that stands out to me, Ashley, is that you just never know what that family is going through and what what they're thinking when they come in the door and start the process with us.
Yeah.
And oftentimes there's a lot of family dynamics going on, and so we just it's easy for anyone to kind of quick to judge at times, but to really hone in on, we have no idea what just happened. We know that someone's passed away. We know that they're often in crisis mode,
Yeah.
but to really understand all the other things that they have going on in their lives, to make sure that we're caring for them 100% and having the all of the things that we need to provide to that family to make that experience for them um, remarkable, from the very beginning to the very end. So I guess that would be it.
Okay. Well, Callie Roberts, thank you so much for your time. I really am excited to share this episode with our listeners.
Thank you so much for reaching out and having me on. It was fun.